Hey guys, welcome to another fabulous YouTube video from your favorite physical education teacher, Mr. G. Now today, I thought we'd continue on with our football. I know you were really excited to see me on the camera last week, but here I am on camera again for you. And today I wanted to go over some terminology of the game of football, and I also wanted to maybe explain a little bit more about how plays end up working on a field. Now, the best way for me to do this is we need to find a coach who can help us out with this. And actually, I found one of the greatest coaches of all time. Go ahead, look him up. His name is Vince Lombardi. There he is. He's right there. Now, Vince Lombardi actually is the name of the Super Bowl trophy. It was named after one of the greatest coaches of all time. Jeez, imagine that. He actually coached for the Green Bay Packers, which works out well. Now, Coach Lombardi here is going to be teaching you, all right, it's going to be me, but we're just going to pretend, a little bit about some terms when it comes to football. Now, you might not be able to see the terms, which is perfectly fine. I'm going to read you what it says on the sheet here. But the first thing, and when a game begins, there's going to be a coin toss. And on the coin toss, you're either going to win or lose the coin toss, and that's where a team's going to choose whether they want the ball or they want the wind. And then once that's determined which team's going to start with the ball, there's going to be a kickoff. I'm not going to go into every single thing, but there will be a kickoff to start the game. Usually a kickoff occurs. I want to say 95% of them don't get returns, and then that's where a team's going to start on offense. Now, once you're on offense, you're going to have 4 plays, here we go, to get 10 yards. So on this board here, this is actually 10 yards. You're going to have 4 plays to try and get from here to here. Those plays can be done by either running or passing the ball. Okay? And every time you get a first down, you get 4 more plays to keep going. Now, you can get a first down on your first play, your second play, your third play, but there is ample opportunities. Now, when they're trying to get a first down, we kind of been explaining a little bit of this usually, and I'm not going to go about and have all the position players out here, but I'm going to try and keep it simple. There's going to be that quarterback, another great quarterback from the past, and this quarterback, his name was Bart Starr. Today we have Aaron Rodgers. If he chooses to throw the ball and it goes past the line of scrimmage, sometimes he throws the ball to one of his teammates. Way in the background there. We'll pretend this football travels, and then this guy catches it. Okay? That could be anywhere from 99 yards to 1 yard, a completed pass. All right? So throwing to catch the ball. These were the wide receivers. That's the quarterback. Another way is that sometimes the quarterback is going to hand the ball off to the running back. This is the guy sometimes usually lines up behind. Quarterback would hand it off to him, and then a running back would run down the field. Yay, here I go. Okay, so there's running and throwing of the football. We've kind of mentioned those before. Now, defense's job is to prevent the offense from scoring. And the defense is going to do that by matching up with the defensive players, kind of like we've been showing you. Now, one of the ways that a defensive player can stop the quarterback is by getting a sack. That's where he's going to get past the offensive lineman and go, and knock down the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage. That would be called a sack. Another way that the defense could stop the offense is if the offensive player drops the ball to the ground. If it hits the ground, that is called a fumble. If the ball's on the ground, we'll pretend it's on the ground there. Anybody can go and grab it. Sometimes the defense can get it. We can't rip it out of this guy's hands because it's attached. But then the defense would gain control, and then their team's offense would go. Or if, pretend you don't see a football here, the quarterback tries to throw the ball, and then this player jumps up and catches it. He now intercepts the ball. Now, on both a fumble and an interception, the ball can be now going, instead of going this way for the offense, it would be going that way for the defense. And then if the defense does stop them with a sack, fumble, interception, or within 4 plays before the other team gets a first down, then the other team would take over. Offensive job is to get all the way down the field and try to score a touchdown, which is worth 6 points. A touchdown would be in the goal line area in the direction that they're headed. But sometimes they don't get all the way down there, and instead they might have to settle for a field goal if they're close enough. There's a cute little goalpost way down there, and then sometimes, let's see if this will stay, a kicker will come out, and they're going to attempt to kick a field goal. Let's see how this goes. We're going to try and kick a field goal through the uprights. Oh, it's good. If it goes through the uprights, did you guys see that? I hope you saw it. It went through. If it goes through the uprights, hold on. Over here. Then it'd be good. But if it does not go through the uprights, let's say the kicker goes and kicks it. Oh, this is not going smoothly. Oh, that'd be no good. And the defense now stopped the offense again, where they would then take over. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff when it comes to football. Some of the terminology I wanted you to kind of become a little bit familiar with. Now, let's switch this around, opposite way. Here we go. Now, what I wanted to talk to you about next was the following. We've been talking about plays, and during this football game, which in case you weren't sure, is broken up into two halves, and each team actually has 3 timeouts per half. It's broken up into 4 quarters, a first, second, third, and fourth. There's halftime after the end of the third quarter. Each quarter is 15 minutes long. But with the plays, and I'm going to turn it sideways. I don't know what happens when you're looking at it, but it might not be sideways for you. This is where last week we had talked about offensive plays and different pass patterns. Well, here's where a coach decides to run different plays. We already have the offensive linemen set up here. We have your tackle, guard, center, guard, tackle, and here's your quarterback. Here's your quarterback right there. Well, now I'm going to add a running back. Then I'm going to add a wide receiver and a wide receiver. I'm going to add a tight end and another wide receiver. Now the coach is going to have to make a bunch of offensive plays. These offensive plays are going to be telling the offensive players what to do to try and get yards, positive yards on each play. And remember when I showed you my boys doing different pass routes? Well, this is where those all start to come into play. Usually, the coaches have this thing called a playbook. And in the playbook, there's going to be as many as 25 to maybe 100 different plays that the players study. That's like their homework. And then they have to learn each one of these different plays. And what's going to end up happening is that each one of these plays is going to have a name. So this could be 3WTRB, right? Whatever it is, they're all made up names, but the players start memorizing these plays because on this play, they're actually going to know what each player has to do. The wide receiver is running a fly here. We talked about this. A tight end is running an in. And for this, usually they put little numbers so you know exactly what's happening. So the tight end would be running 5 yards and then going in. Then we had a wide receiver running a hook, and you can put like a little 10 so they know that they have to do a 10-yard hook. And then perhaps this wide receiver is running a post. And once again, at 10 yards, you're telling them to do this. Now the players are going to be learning what to do. This play, the running back could possibly be going up through this hole. Now, even though this one play could have one name, and I already forgot the name that I called it. We can call it WYT, RB Blast. This could have different ways that can be used. In the middle of a game, you could have the running back get the ball, and he's going to run between these two players. And what's going to happen is usually the coach is going to tell the offensive linemen which way to go and which way to block. So when the defense tries to stop them, they actually know what they're doing. Or if they don't want to run the ball here, now they have 4 different options on players to throw the ball to. So when I coached my kids' flag football team, I actually made up a bunch of these different plays. Now, when I make up these different plays, I don't have an offensive line because when I play flag football, it's only 7 kids. You know what that means? We don't have these players right here. There's no offensive tackles or there's no offensive guards. So when I give my kids these plays, I make up little plays. They each call out a color and they know what position they have to run. And I give them little names and I tell them what they have to do, etc., etc. Okay? And I make them understand what exactly is going to be happening towards each play. Choo-choo coming through. This one's a fun one because like everyone's going across, kind of like choo-choo chains. Never mind. Okay? But the reason why I'm showing you this is because, well, very soon, maybe towards the end of this week, I'm going to be asking you to start thinking about the following, about turning in a play. But I'm going to explain that on Wednesday's lesson. I wanted you to learn a little bit more about this. Please watch the other videos that I had sent out this lesson as well. I think there's 4 more YouTube videos. They weren't too long completely. I think mine actually equals more than the others combined. But wanted you to learn a little bit more about football. I think we're going to have 1 more football lesson on Wednesday, wrapping it up. And please have a fabulous week. I hope everyone had a great Halloween. I will talk to you very soon. Choo-choo coming through. One of my favorite plays.